Welcome to Rich Entertainment, where the entertainment is lacking. And today I've got Thomas Was Alone. It's a game I've been thinking about, well, I've owned for quite a while, just never actually played through. So hopefully it's alright. I'm gonna turn the game down before it gives me a headache.
Thomas was alone. Wow, a weird first thought to have.
Not really. It was an observation.
Thomas decided to start listing his observations for posterity. 1. The whole alone thing. 2. Portals. They led somewhere. He'd yet to work out where. 3. Falling. Thomas was absolutely fantastic at falling. He was almost as good at falling as he was at observing.
I do want to mention I'm not good at platformers, so this could be bad.
Okay, interesting. Thomas couldn't fall past this block. Think, damn it, think! What if there was some kind of inverted fall? Some way to... what's the word? Jump.
No, I've accidentally just skipped.
A big jump. But Thomas noted there was no real danger in missing it. The world didn't want him to fail here. It was pushing him, but gently.
Okay, buddy. If you say so.
This all seemed a little dangerous. The world was not to be trusted. It was unstable, and it seemed to Thomas that it could let him down at any moment. He was starting to suspect it might even be doing so on purpose. Paranoia. Thomas wondered whether the portals were actually taking him anywhere. He felt like he was making progress, but there wasn't really any way to know. He seemed to be moving predominantly up and to the right, which might, or might not, be important.
That's what you make of it, though. But that could just be my opinion. That was but...
It might have been paranoia again, but Thomas could have sworn the world was becoming more complicated. It always seemed to be one step ahead of his skills.
We'll get better.
It had been designed just for him. He wondered why. Was the world testing him? No. Too obvious. Something about the boiling, toxic, glowing water intimidated Thomas. He didn't like it. He certainly didn't want to swim in it. He made another mental note. 4. Water. Not good. To be avoided.
Fucking Scruff, have a bath, man. Jesus. Fuck, I need a new set of
The
lungs.
loneliness was getting to Thomas. No amount of observation or obsessive note-taking could combat that.
There we are. Bouncy, 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 up be to the right.
Thomas had a new theory. The world was training him. He could feel himself getting smarter. There was the mental list to consider. Over the minutes and seconds since his spontaneous generation, he'd become a pretty skilled jumper. He was evolving. He just wished he had someone to share it with.
Fucking ginger.
Chris took an immediate and deep dislike to the skinny red rectangle. Who the hell did this Thomas think he was?
The main character?
Chris had been doing fine. He wasn't the highest jumper, but he'd held his own. He'd even been graceful at times. Well, not actually. Not technically graceful. It's probably the wrong word, but you know, fine. There was that skinny little runt leaping about like he owned the place.
So little bro has a Napoleon complex, which understandable. He can barely jump. Jeez, but he can fall with style.
Glowy white thing. Only Chris could get to it, which of course made it all the more enticing. What would it do? What new opportunity might this switch open up to him? Great. Another chance for Thomas to jump slightly higher than Chris. Fortune. Seriously, this made the whole switch pressing thing entirely worthwhile.
Mate, just be grateful.
Was this good? Because on the surface, it did not seem good. Chris was pretty scared. Little Red seemed fine, happy to be on his merry little adventure. Chris couldn't shake the feeling that things had taken a significant turn for the worse since Thomas had joined him. Sure, he'd been able to piggyback his way to ever so slightly higher platforms, but where had that got him? Well, to ever so slightly higher platforms, which was sort of his point.
Of course I failed at the final jump. It's like I'm doing this on purpose at this point, Jesus. Do have time to jump about the graph? I don't know. This game is so loud
Chris
to me.
stared at Thomas with pure hatred. He seemed so very happy at their situation. Friends together, a brave fellowship of quadrilaterals on a quest for greatness. That would be fine. But it was all the obvious observation that Thomas was doing which grated. Every time they saw something vaguely new, Chris would hear a satisfied little from the vaulting idiot. He hoped the next portal would split them up, if only for a few levels.
Just enjoy the company. even if you don't like them. Oh. Who's this fella?
John knew.
Oh.
He knew that this was his chance. A moment to shine. This was game day.
Tell me where you move. There he is. Sliding over, slide John over, in you get. Bingo and bango. Sound as a pound.
This would not do. John needed room to show off his exceptional skills. As it was, he was trapped on the wrong side of these little dot things. Where did they come from, anyway?
Where did John come from, man? He's tall.
John inhaled the air of the open space, and it smelled
He can jump.
of awesome. Time to flex those muscles, to put his training to use, time to show those little dots how it was done. John decided to press the switch, to let the little dots catch up with him. John cared for his new allies.
No.
You could tell from the sympathetic expression he practiced in the mirror all these years.
Is this just like an autistic's day out? Tommy boy surely can jump over John. I'm just gonna put Thomas there because I doubt this puffball of orange could get over. Oh, he can. He can't get over the next one. Oh. In you get. I am getting. Are you taking the fucking piss? Come on, John. Tom, up and over. In you go. Pink. The music's getting loud and dramatic. Personal opinion.
John was happy to keep helping. He felt it was important to his image that he was seen to help the little guys.
Because John is a performative male. And Chris is useless. Most gingers are, let's be honest. Up, ding. Tom, up. I have trapped him. I'd laugh if that's a soft lock, but I highly doubt it. Surely you can't soft lock yourself in this. Surely not. You'd be criminal if you could. Will little man get on the platform? Yes, he will. Hooray!
He didn't mind them so much either. The red one, Thomas, had a charming way of applauding every time John jumped.
Bit patronising. And the little orange anger ball.
The angry orange one was less immediately likeable, but his unremitting cynicism and tutting amused John.
Come on. Surely if I just... Yes, you midgets. Dang it. Ah. Of course. Come on. Up and get. In you get.
This was interesting. A floating target. This would require coordination, balance, and timing. John was sure the dots would be lost, but he was happy to guide them to triumph. Maybe that's what the dots were for. They were there to extend John's reach, to make his performance even more impressive. John liked the thought. He decided to keep them.
They're not pets, man. Chris and Tom are their own people. And to be fair, Chris is not really likeable, but...
So, this was how Claire would die. She knew it would happen eventually. She was rubbish at jumping, and she moved slowly. She felt a little like her continued existence was breaking some kind of natural order. The crumbling pillar was a dramatic death, she supposed. Wait, what? Claire couldn't shake the feeling that she was not, in fact, dead. It was at that moment that Claire realised she had superpowers.
No.
She'd need a cape. There was no getting around that. You couldn't be a superhero without a cape. Claire didn't want confusion. If you saw a cape, that made matters clear. You knew what you were dealing with. Claire was all about communication. And, you know, floating in water, which was her superpower.
Was it now?
All right. Fear not, my skinny friends, for I am Claire, and I will save you.
I've got to say, the
Claire
voice
needed
acting...
to come up with a superhero name as soon as possible. Claire was rubbish.
I've got to say, the voice acting in this is actually really nice, or the narration. Bro's loving life.
Claire arrived just in time, which It was, of course, the perfect moment for superheroes to arrive.
You'd hope. I thought I could jump it. I could not.
Claire arrived just in time.
We get the point.
It was, of course, the perfect moment for superheroes to arrive.
Are we going? Bye, Claire. Oh no, Tom! If
Claire
I
arrived
move
just in
Claritha
time.
over there,
It was, of course, the perfect moment
can we make
for
it yet?
superheroes
Can we
to
make it
arrive.
yet? Can we make it yet? Can we make it? Yes. Dink. Skidink. She can jump in water, but not on land. Not gonna say what I'm thinking.
As the water began to rise, Claire vowed to save this little rectangle in as many restarts as it took.
Oh, there's a knob
If
in
Thomas would make a
fucking.
good sidekick. Was she more the lone Avenger type? She'd like that. The sole hero in a world of rectangles and conveniently placed pools of toxic water.
What's Tommy Boy? John in the hole. Up. Surely he can jump out. Yeah, he can.
The others told Claire that staircases were a bit of a fixture here. Claire wondered why the world made it so difficult.
Because you're wham. Over there. Over there. Put him in the corner. Her in her. Oh. There we are. In you go. Go, fella. Gang's back together.
Probably needed a nemesis. A villain who would show their true colours at the worst possible moment, hurting all she held dear. Chris was the most obvious choice. He seemed stroppy enough, and his jump was so pathetic that it conveniently avoided Claire's insecurities. Yes, Chris. Diabolical Chris. The fiendish Christopher.
Put John there. Of course, I have to jump Tommy Boy over. Dink up. Dink over there. Tommy Boy. Chrissy, mate. Move. Up and away, Chris goes. Tommy in his box. John in his box. Claire having a swimming lesson like usual. There we go.
Wait. Where had Chris gone? Was he off somewhere? Plotting Claire's downfall? Claire was honest, and she had to be because she was a superhero. This was a troubling turn of events. Still, there were reasonably sized bodies of water to cross.
I'm already starting to feel Chris is misunderstood. He might be a knob, but he's ginger. All gingers are knobs. Well, they are in my experience anyway. Park John there. Oh, thank God. Bye, Tom. There we are, in there. Up and over, down, whoopie-doo. Zippity-doo-dee-dee, in there.
Moving platforms over water, eh? Claire's newly heightened senses told her that there were multiple paths across with various possible configurations of the little posse.
Can John jump? John can jump.
They were doing really well. Claire hoped she could get them all across. John was fully aware he could do this alone. Thomas hoped he'd never have to.
Aww. Come on, big girl. Yes. Oh my God. I'm naff. I was trying to chase a moving object. It did not work. There we are. Move, John Stuffer. Up, Claire goes. Johnny boy there. Up, beat up, there we are. Are we in? Yeah, we are in.
Claire was alone, which was odd, because she wasn't meant to be alone. She needed to be where there were rectangles to save. Being the only superhero in a given space kind of defeats the object. Spikes? That was new. Claire avoided them. She decided they were most likely her kryptonite. Not the rubbish red kryptonite either, the proper radioactive green stuff. This time Thomas was here. Claire felt something had gone wrong. There was a disturbance in the force. Something had altered the matrix. The world was reacting to their progress. It was amassing its forces. It was plotting against them. Claire finally had a nemesis.
It's called jumping. Oh, you're taking the piss. Oh. Oh, yeah. Surely Claire can jump over him. Surely. Come on. Yes. I'm going to leave this part here. I'm enjoying the story, so I'll probably continue this. And, yeah. If I don't see you in week, I'll see you through Tick Keyhole. Sue me, Keith Lemon, for that one, because Through Tick Keyhole was great.